Welcome to our deep dive, into the Book of Ezra.
Ooh.
It's a fascinating story.
It is.
Imagine going back in time and joining the Jewish people returning to Jerusalem after being exiled for like decades.
Decades, yeah.
Their cities in ruins.
Right.
Their temples destroyed, but they're determined
Wow.
to rebuild.
Yeah.
So it's a story of incredible faith
Definitely.
and resilience.
Yeah.
And we're going to uncover the valuable messages
Okay.
within the Book of Ezra.
Okay.
And we'll see how its teachings can even strengthen our own faith and goodness.
That's great.
And inspire us to connect more deeply with others.
That's really cool.
What's remarkable about the Book of Ezra is it shows us the power of rebuilding on so many levels.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about restoring like physical structures,
Right.
but also reviving a community and rekindling a connection with God.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and right from the start, we're met with this incredible act of generosity.
Oh, really?
King Cyrus of Persia, who wasn't even Jewish,
What?
issued a decree allowing the exiles to go back to Jerusalem
Okay.
and rebuild their temple.
That's amazing.
It's a truly remarkable act.
It is.
Cyrus even stated that he believed he was charged by God
Oh, wow.
to help the Jewish people.
Okay.
I mean, think about that for a moment.
Yeah.
An outsider
Right.
recognizing this divine purpose
Yeah.
and supporting another faith.
Yeah. It really makes you think about how powerful that must have been for them.
That must have been an incredible moment
It must have been.
for those exiled Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks to this idea that sometimes
Yeah.
help and understanding can come from the most unexpected places.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that we should be open to seeing those acts of kindness and support, even from those who may seem different from us.
Oh, definitely.
As we kind of move deeper into Ezra, we encounter these really detailed lists.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like an inventory of everyone and everything involved in the return. You've got families, their belongings, even the temple vessels, all meticulously recorded.
Wow.
Those lists may seem a bit dry at first,
Okay.
but they actually reveal something really profound
Oh, right.
about the whole rebuilding process.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just about throwing something together.
Yeah.
Each person, each object had a place
Right.
and a purpose.
Uh-huh.
It speaks to the care and dedication they poured
Yeah.
into this whole endeavor.
Right.
Like, just imagine those 200 singing men and singing women
Whoa.
mentioned in the book.
Oh, wow.
I mean, what a joyous sound it
Yeah.
must have been.
Yeah.
They were rebuilding with joy, with reverence, with an eye toward every detail.
That's pretty awesome.
It's like each item on those lists represented a piece of their history and their faith
Right.
that they were bringing back with them.
Mm-hmm.
Precisely. And that sense of history and faith really comes to life in a particular powerful scene.
Okay.
The laying of the foundation for the new temple.
Wow. You can almost feel like those mixed emotions. Yeah. The joy of rebuilding alongside the sorrow of remembering the former temple's grandeur.
Yeah, like you can almost feel the presence of those who had seen the first temple weeping, while those who had only heard stories were shouting for joy.
Yeah, I can almost picture it. It reminds me of times in my own life where I felt that same mix of excitement for the future and a bit of sadness for what's been left behind.
I can relate to that.
It's a powerful reminder that growth and renewal aren't always straightforward.
Right.
They often come with this bittersweet blend of emotions.
Yeah, that's true.
But even with those complexities, the people in Ezra pressed forward,
Yeah,
brick by brick,
that's it.
with unwavering determination.
They had a goal in mind.
They certainly needed that determination because they weren't alone in their efforts.
Oh, right.
Ezra introduces us to these adversaries who actively tried to stop the temple's construction.
These adversaries, they use all sorts of tactics to try to halt the work.
Oh, really?
False accusations.
Oh, my God.
Political maneuvering.
Oh, wow.
You name it.
Okay.
It shows that even when you're pursuing a righteous goal,
Yeah.
there will be those who oppose you. It almost makes you wonder, how do you stay strong
Yeah.
in the face of that kind of opposition?
Right.
What kept those builders going?
Well, that's a great question.
Well, that's where the prophets Haggai and Zechariah
Okay.
enter the picture.
Right.
Their words were like this beacon of hope,
Okay.
reminding the people that God was with them, supporting their efforts.
Yeah.
Imagine hearing their pronouncements.
Wow.
This powerful reminder that even when you're facing setbacks,
Yeah.
faith and divine guidance can provide the strength to persevere.
That's really powerful.
It makes you think about those times when we face our own, metaphorical adversaries in life, those challenges and setbacks that threaten to derail us.
Right.
It's a reminder to hold fast to our faith and values, just as the builders of the temple did.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And remember, sometimes help can come from unexpected places.
Oh, yeah.
Just as Cyrus, a non-believer, supported the rebuilding,
Right.
we may find strength and encouragement from surprising sources.
That's true.
Speaking of unexpected support, let's talk about King Darius.
Okay.
After investigating this situation, he not only confirmed Cyrus's decree to rebuild the temple,
Okay.
but even punishes
Oh, wow.
those who try to interfere.
That's a big deal.
Darius's actions speak volumes about leadership and respect.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that sometimes standing up for what's right means taking a stand against injustice.
Definitely.
Even more striking is that Darius was a ruler of a different faith,
Right.
yet he respected and protected the Jewish people's right to worship.
Yeah.
His actions demonstrate that you don't have to share someone's beliefs to advocate for their right to practice their faith. It's about basic human respect and understanding.
Yeah.
And it highlights the potential for collaboration and harmony across different cultures and faiths.
Absolutely.
A powerful message that resonates even today.
For sure.
No, we've talked a lot about the physical rebuilding of the temple.
Right.
But Ezra's arrival introduces us to another crucial aspect
Okay.
of rebuilding the spiritual dimension.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
Ezra wasn't just a skilled scribe. He was a teacher
Right.
sent to ensure that the people were living in accordance with God's laws.
Okay.
He wasn't just rebuilding the temple.
Right.
He was tasked with revitalizing their spiritual devotion.
Wow.
So the book of Ezra isn't just a story about, bricks and mortar,
Yeah.
but of rebuilding our inner lives as well.
That's right.
Exactly. It's about strengthening our faith, aligning our actions with our values, and becoming the best versions of ourselves.
That's powerful.
And that brings us to a particularly challenging and even controversial part of Ezra's mission.
Okay.
The issue of intermarriage. Ezra was deeply troubled to find that many, including priests and Levites, had married women from surrounding nations.
Wow.
It was seen as a direct violation of God's commands
Okay.
and a threat to their religious and cultural identity.
Yeah.
Remember, they had just returned from exile, this time of great upheaval and loss.
Right.
They were rebuilding their nation, their faith, their very identity.
Okay.
And for Ezra, these marriages represented a compromise, a dilution of that hard-won identity.
Okay.
It's understandable why this was such a sensitive issue for them.
Absolutely.
They were trying to rebuild a distinct and holy community set apart for God. And these marriages kind of blurred those boundaries.
Right.
And Ezra's response was dramatic.
Rude.
They tore his clothes, plucked his hair, fasted in mourning.
Oh my goodness.
He saw this as a betrayal of their covenant with God.
Okay.
A serious threat to their spiritual well-being.
Wow.
It's hard to imagine the turmoil and upheaval this caused within the community.
Yeah.
To be told that your marriage, your family was somehow wrong.
Right.
Must have been incredibly difficult.
It must have been.
It certainly was.
Yeah.
And while we might grapple with the implications of this from a modern perspective, it's important to remember the historical context.
Oh, definitely.
Ezra was operating within a very different set of cultural and religious norms. It's a reminder that even in the pursuit of faith and restoration, there can be pain and difficult choices. And it challenges us to approach these historical narratives with both sensitivity and a critical eye, seeking understanding while also acknowledging the complexities.
That's right. Welcome back to our deep dive into the Book of Ezra.
We've seen the incredible resilience and faith of the Jewish people as they began rebuilding their lives in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
But, their journey wasn't without its challenges.
Definitely.
It's like they took one step forward and then encountered another obstacle.
Right.
Like we talked about those detailed lists of people and possessions returning to Jerusalem. But there was a group of people who couldn't prove their lineage, their connection to Israel.
Wow.
Yeah. Ezra 2.59 mentions those who could not show their father's house and their seed, whether they were of Israel.
Interesting.
Imagine the uncertainty and even fear they must have felt their place in this newly restored community suddenly called into question.
Wow.
It makes you think about how we determine belonging in our own communities today.
It's true.
What are those markers of identity?
Right.
And how can we ensure that everyone feels welcomed and included?
That's an important question.
It's a complex question that Ezra forces us to confront. And it's not just about lineage or heritage, but also about spiritual purity and adherence to religious practices.
Yeah.
You're talking about the priests who were considered polluted and ineligible to serve in the temple.
Yeah.
It always struck me as a particularly challenging part of the story.
It's a reminder that even within a faith community, there are standards and expectations.
Right.
These priests, they couldn't trace their lineage back to Aaron, the first high priest, and therefore weren't allowed to perform sacred duties.
Okay.
It highlights the importance they placed on maintaining a pure lineage, particularly when it came to those performing sacred duties.
It's fascinating how this story kind of echoes that earlier issue of those who couldn't prove their heritage.
Right.
It seems like lineage played a significant role in their society.
Absolutely.
Shaping their sense of identity and belonging.
It was like a key that unlocked their place in society, their access to certain rights and responsibilities.
Okay.
It's a window into their social structure and the importance they placed on maintaining a connection to their past.
Now, amidst all these challenges and complexities, there's also a moment of great joy.
That's right.
The dedication of the new temple.
Oh, absolutely. Ezra 6 describes this momentous occasion. The children of Israel, including the priests and Levites, they celebrated with immense joy, offering sacrifices and reestablishing their rituals and traditions.
It's like they were not only rebuilding the physical temple, but also reviving their spiritual practices.
Yes.
Bringing back a sense of normalcy and reclaiming their identity as a people.
That's a great way to put it. They even reinstated the priestly divisions and Levitical courses for service in the temple.
Wow.
Carefully restoring order and structure to their religious life.
And they celebrated Passover, right?
Exactly.
What a powerful symbol of renewal and hope.
It demonstrated their commitment to upholding their religious observances and passing on their faith to future generations.
Right.
The dedication of the temple, it marked a significant step in their journey back to wholeness, a testament to their resilience and unwavering faith.
Okay, so fast forward a few years.
Yeah.
And we're introduced to Ezra himself.
That's right.
This ready scribe in the law of Moses.
Yeah.
Arriving in Jerusalem with a specific mission from King Artaxerxes.
Ezra's arrival is a turning point in the story.
Right.
He wasn't just there to oversee the physical rebuilding.
Right.
But to teach and enforce God's laws.
Okay.
It was about ensuring the people were living in accordance with their faith.
Right.
Not just rebuilding a structure, but revitalizing their spiritual lives.
It's like the difference between building a house and creating a home.
That's a great way to put it.
The temple was the structure.
Right.
But Ezra was there to help them cultivate the spirit, the values, the way of life that would truly make it a sacred space.
Yeah. That's a beautiful analogy. And it's here that we encounter one of the most challenging and controversial aspects of Ezra's mission.
Yeah.
The issue of intermarriage.
Right. Ezra was deeply troubled to find that many, including priests and Levites, had married women from surrounding nations. It was seen as a direct violation of God's commands.
Okay.
And a threat to their religious and cultural identity.
Remember, they had just returned from exile, a time of great upheaval and loss.
Yeah.
They were rebuilding their nation, their faith, their very identity. And for Ezra, these marriages represented a compromise, a dilution of that hard-won identity.
It's understandable why this was such a sensitive issue for them.
Yeah.
They were trying to rebuild a distinct and holy community set apart for God.
Right.
And these marriages blurred those boundaries.
And Ezra's response was dramatic. He tore his clothes, plucked his hair, and fasted in mourning.
Oh my goodness.
He saw this as a betrayal of their covenant with God. A serious threat to their spiritual well-being.
It's hard to imagine the turmoil and upheaval this caused within the community.
It must have been.
To have your marriage, your family deemed unacceptable by religious authorities.
Right.
It must have been incredibly difficult
It certainly was, and while we might grapple with the implications of this from a modern perspective, it's important to remember the historical context. Ezra was operating within a very different set of cultural and religious norms.
It's a reminder that even in the pursuit of faith and restoration, there can be pain and difficult choices.
Definitely.
And it challenges us to approach these historical narratives with both sensitivity and a critical eye seeking understanding, while also acknowledging the complexities.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that even the most well-intentioned actions can have unintended consequences, and that navigating matters of faith and tradition is rarely straightforward.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this episode, from the complexities of lineage and belonging, to the joyous dedication of the temple, and the challenging issue of intermarriage.
It's a fascinating story.
Ezra's story is full of twists and turns, moments of triumph and moments of deep struggle.
And through it all, we see the enduring power of faith, resilience, and a commitment to rebuilding not just a temple, but a way of life.
It's been quite a journey so far. Join us for the final part of this deep dive as we explore the implications of Ezra's mission and uncover the lasting legacy of their story. Welcome back to our final part of this deep dive into Ezra. It's been quite a journey through ancient history and faith, and the complexities of rebuilding. We've seen those returning exiles face challenges and celebrate victories, all while striving to restore what was lost.
It's been fascinating to unpack those layers, hasn't it? We've witnessed the resilience of the Jewish people, their unwavering commitment to their faith, and their determination to rebuild not just physical structures, but also their community and their connection with God.
And we can't forget those thought-provoking questions they encountered along the way. Issues of lineage belonging to the very nature of community, and even the tension between upholding tradition and navigating change.
You know, those questions weren't just relevant back then. They still resonate with us today as we navigate our own modern challenges, like who belongs, how do we build inclusive communities, how do we balance tradition with the need to adapt and evolve.
It's a lot to unpack, and honestly, that issue of Ezra demanding the dissolution of marriages with foreign wives has been weighing on my mind. It's a tough concept to reconcile, even considering the historical context.
I understand it's a part of the story that can be difficult to process, especially from our modern perspective, while it reflects the beliefs and priorities of that time. It also compels us to grapple with challenging questions about cultural integration, religious purity, and the impact of such decisions on individuals and families.
It makes you wonder how those affected by this decree coped with the emotional fallout to have your marriage, your family deemed unacceptable by religious authorities. It must have been incredibly painful.
It's a poignant reminder that even in the pursuit of what's perceived as a greater good, there can be unintended consequences and individual pain. It underscores the importance of approaching these historical narratives with both sensitivity and a critical eye, recognizing the complexities and acknowledging the human cost.
Shifting gears a bit, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the overall legacy of Ezra and the rebuilding efforts. What enduring lessons can we glean from their story? What wisdom can we carry forward into our own lives?
Ezra's story is ultimately a testament to the human spirit's capacity for resilience, faith, and the pursuit of restoration. They faced immense obstacles, a destroyed city opposition from adversaries, internal divisions, yet they persevered, driven by their faith and their commitment to rebuilding their lives and their relationship with God.
Their unwavering faith in the face of adversity is truly inspiring. They never gave up, even when the task seemed insurmountable. It's a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope, and that faith can be a source of immense strength.
And remember, the role that Cyrus and Darius played leaders from different cultures and faiths who supported the rebuilding efforts. Their actions demonstrate that allyship can come from unexpected places, and that collaboration across differences can lead to remarkable outcomes.
It's a powerful message for us today, a reminder that building bridges rather than walls can be a catalyst for positive change. It speaks to the potential for understanding and cooperation between people of different backgrounds and beliefs.
Ezra's story, in all its complexity, offers us valuable lessons about resilience, faith, leadership, and the power of unity. It challenges us to consider the enduring relevance of these qualities in our own lives and communities.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the takeaway? What does this all mean for us today as we navigate our own modern challenges and strive to build a better future? What can we learn from Ezra and those who rebuilt Jerusalem?
Ezra's story encourages us to embrace resilience in the face of adversity, to remain steadfast in our values, and to seek understanding and support from others, even those who may seem different from us. It reminds us that rebuilding and renewal are ongoing processes that require our active engagement.
It's a call to action, a reminder that we all have a role to play in building a better future, whether it's rebuilding our own lives, strengthening our communities, or working towards a more just and compassionate world. Ezra's story offers us guidance and inspiration.
And ultimately, it's a story of hope. It demonstrates that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles, the human spirit, guided by faith and a commitment to something greater, can achieve remarkable things.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Book of Ezra. We hope you've gained valuable insights and perhaps even a renewed sense of inspiration for your own journey.
It's been a pleasure exploring this rich and meaningful text with you. May we all find the strength and wisdom to rebuild and renew the temples within ourselves and in the world around us.